going to get my PowerPoint going. So good Wednesday morning. I almost said Tuesday morning. Shows how quick these days are going with the, you think, my wife and I were just talking about being confined, and it seems like it should be about July, but it's just obviously the first day of April, because it being, you know, not getting out and going much, it does seem like it does drag the weeks out a little bit longer. At least if you've been married 40 years and you're at the same place every day, I mean, this will test a marriage. I just thought building a house tested a marriage. I will promise you, living and never moving the house and trying to stay in, doing the things we're supposed to be doing. I don't think we can all do that, but those of us that are able to stay in and work from home are able to do that. So guys, my name's Chris Doyle. I am calling in, and I'm coming from Jackson, Tennessee, which is, if you don't know, it's the western part of Tennessee, kind of between Nashville and Memphis. And this morning, we're just going to talk briefly about a company and opportunity. I think the world is changing. I said last night, I guess I kind of feel like I'm the old man of the sea on these groups, because I'm probably the oldest, one of the older persons on the call. You know, I've seen a lot of things come and go, and I've seen a lot of changes in our world. And I was sharing earlier that I was just thinking about this. Probably 15 years ago, I didn't even want an email address. I didn't want an iPhone. Matter of fact, Todd Rowland ordered my first iPhone, or smartphone, if you prefer to call it that. He made me order one. And I still remember when he did it. He got my credit card out of my wallet without my knowledge and ordered me an iPhone and said I had to do it. Now I'm probably on my 6th or 7th one. So if you don't take it and realize the world changes, and I am totally convinced what's just happened in this is going to change the way the world does business. It's been changing, but this moment in time that we all know is different is changing things even more so. I've had the privilege of working from home for 18 years. I always took it for granted. I never thought about it. My business hasn't changed. When other people are worrying about their income, it hasn't changed. My income has increased because more people are working from home, and my business has gone up. Some of my part-time people are now working a little more like full-time. But this slide is one of my favorite, because we call ourselves the opportunity company, but this opportunity, the word opportunity, it really comes to us for a lot of different ways. This doesn't necessarily mean financial opportunity. It can, it is for me. It can be the opportunity to improve your health. It could be the opportunity to improve your immunity system. It could be your opportunity to lose some weight. It can be whatever you want it to be. But an opportunity is just nothing. I tried to get that from the Webster's dictionary. It's just nothing more than the situation is right for something to happen. That's really what it comes down to. The situation is right. And if you don't think that things have changed, and I don't know where you're living, the world is changing, and I don't believe we're going to come out of this in the next few weeks with things going back to normal. There's going to be a lot of people looking for ways for an income stream. It's something that Ken Bailey and Brent Palmer and many of us on his call have been doing for some time, and that is doing things differently. And, you know, so my background, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. My background was manufacturing. At one point, I had a manufacturing company where I employed over 475 people. And looking back on that, you know, NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement, shut that company down. And I found myself looking for a different direction. I never dreamed that I would still be doing network marketing 18 years later and not wanting to go back to that conventional business. I didn't want to go back to that risk factor with all the debt and all the employee problems that I dealt with. So all we're going to do here today is show you what could be. And I asked to do one thing, open your mind. And I'm going to tell you a story I told last night, and someone texted me, they liked it. Guys, I had an opportunity, and that's why I like this slide, to buy Microsoft stock before anybody had ever heard of Microsoft. Nobody had heard of Bill Gates. They were still a young company. And I turned it down because but why? Because I didn't have a computer. What a dumb thing to say back then, because you didn't know the world was changing. One of my friends did buy 600,000 shares of Microsoft. I do not have to tell you, he is not worried about his financial situation. But I've also could tell you about Walmart. No one called me about it, but I watched it grow from virtually a company out of Arkansas. So guys, if you don't realize, and I'm going to show you some slides about our company's growth, finding about something before it becomes huge can be a real blessing for you. So here today, all we're going to talk about could be a way for you to feel better, maybe get some more energy, maybe a way to sleep better, maybe get rid of some inflammation. Because if you're going to have a real opportunity, you have to have something that people are looking for. And I can assure you, in our country, people are looking for changes. maybe just in their bodies, maybe just in their energy. If you don't believe that, just look at the fact that the number of people who are buying energy drinks on a daily basis, and I'm talking about what I call poison energy, stuff that they buy off the shelves at a convenience store. But so it could be any part of this. Whatever part you're interested in, that's great with us. We're not here to talk you into anything. We're here to share information. My partner in crime here today is what we call him, you know, who's my co-host, is Richard Tuggle, who just locked himself out of the office. So he's got himself in the parking lot in Batesville, Arkansas. And Richard is someone who really started here for one part. He was interested in the weight and maybe losing a few pounds. So Richard, just kind of briefly tell us how that began.
Yeah, I did. I was having some major health problems, and I did get in it for to lose a bunch of weight and try to get back on top of that. Had no intention of doing the business. Knew that there was a business there, but had a successful real estate business going and some other car lot and mini storage and auctions company, and really didn't have time to do anything else. And but was so amazed with the products. Lost 80 pounds in 125 days. Went to Salt Lake City a couple times with you and Todd, and got to know about the company and the ownership, and seen that there was some money in this. And also had a change of heart where, you know, my wife used to say I didn't have a caring bone in my body. This company has changed me. It changed my life, my family's life. And I've seen what has changed in other people's lives, their physical and their wallet. So it's really changed my heart. And it's a company that you can go with and run with it. I'll tell you, I'm extremely blessed to be with this company.
Well, I think you and I both talked about this, Richard, and that is that the world has changed from the fact that so many people now know that we're not getting from our foods what we needed, and nutrition is a major part, and it's a $1 trillion industry. So from a business perspective, you and I talked about it. There's a lot of people selling nutrition that maybe not sure of the quality, but they're selling a lot of nutrition anyway. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah, they are. And, you know, I was never a nutrition person. Most unhealthy eater you ever saw. Didn't really believe in nutrition, but I've seen that the products that our company has, the superiority over other companies. I mean, my youngest son works at ENC, and I probably wouldn't buy, you know, a lot of the stuff that they've got because our products are so much superior over them. And, they will change your life, Chris. I mean, I'm living proof. I've got my mom and dad, they're elderly, you know, we're worried about them and their age and stuff, and I've got them on the products, and I feel real good about that.
So let's talk, we're going to talk about two parts today. So we talked about maybe changing your health, if that's what you're interested in. I will be the first to admit to you that I came here strictly for the money. And Richard came for the change of weight in his health, but I mean, I came here for the money part. In that process, I did lose 80 pounds, and I have changed my health dramatically. But I want you to understand that I wanted to be able to build a residual-based income, because I had learned what residual income was, and I'm going to call on Mark Thomas here later to talk about that, who's a financial planner. But residual-based income is what you're really, if you're ever going to get any financial independence, you've got to be able to get paid. So many people right now looking at unemployment possibilities and what they're trying to draw, and I understand that. But when you're working for linear income, that makes a difference. My checks haven't stopped because of what's going on in the world. Now we're going to shift gears and talk just a little bit about our company, because I need you to realize when I talked about growth and I talked about big companies doing big things, our company is called ARIIX. You'll see that big building there, the red brick building in the middle. ARIIX that's the home office at Salt Lake City, Utah. And guys, the thing to understand about ARIIX is this. ARIIX is a growing company. It's one of the fastest growing companies in the world, honestly. And you're probably going to see my granddaughter. You think working from home don't work? I mean, she just showed up. I just now realized she was going to walk in beside me. So my granddaughter's here. So guys, the owners there on the right, there's a group of guys. As much as I love our guys and their expertise, we could spend the next hour discussing with you about them. The lady in the middle is what I call the pixie dust, or what really makes the difference for our company. Her name is Deanna Latson. Why? Because Richard mentioned the products and the quality, and it's because of Deanna that really makes our difference. But if you look at the company's growth and realize that as we began, I joined this company and they did about $32 million in their second year of business, which is good. I mean, I think anybody would say a young company that does $32 million, but look at what's happened over 7 years of growth. Now, why I bring that to your attention is because later I'm going to talk about what I believe is about to happen. But we're a house of brands, meaning this, we're going to talk specifically about a couple of 2 or 3 products today that has helped Richard and has helped some others on our call. But if you begin to realize that we're a multi-brand company, the nutrition line called Nutrify and our weight loss division called Slenderize is really what we're going to be doing testimonials on today. But our newest company, our newest division called Lehman, we actually have Brent Palmer with us today, who is one of their most successful representatives and the master distributor there. So here's what I want you to realize. It doesn't matter which brand you're working with. ARIIX is a house of brands. There's 2 more brands coming. When Ken Bailey and I started here, they didn't have some of the things we're going to talk about now. Those brands came on later. The Slenderize, which we're going to mention in just a moment, has just started. When we came here, that was their newest product, and they hadn't even tested it out yet. But just don't get caught up, but just needed to know that there's a lot of different things a company will offer. And as our company continues to grow from a financial side, you'll want to know that this is a very important factor. It means that you're going to have a site and a way to build a traditional business in the direct selling and network marketing industry through all kinds of marketing strategies and understanding that we can go worldwide. Now, when I mentioned the products, just know that you don't have to be concerned. Our certifications are second to none. And we call it the Deanna factor because her no compromise attitude and her no compromise ability, and if you really do some research on her, you'll understand. She has assembled a group of doctors from around the world, 60 plus of them. A couple of my favorites are Dr. Strand, who's written multiple books. He's the chief medical doctor. Dr. Ginger, there at the bottom left, you'll see her, has written multiple books. She's been featured on Dr. Oz. Those are the kind of people that are having input on the quality of our products. But the certifications that we have will give you confidence that you don't have to be concerned. You're getting the best products there is on the market today. I don't believe there's another company that's even close. But I promise you, we're cutting edge of everything when it comes to health and nutrition. Now, the products that we're going to talk about today are something we call the Transformation Pack. These are what Richard started on, and one of my guests, a couple of other guests we got coming in just a moment, are going to be talking about. These are the products that are in the Transformation Pack. So what is the Transformation Pack? It transforms you. This is someone that I knew in South Carolina, and these are people that are really making a lot of differences in their life. But what are these products? The first one we're going to talk about is called MOA, M-O-A. That stands for Mother of All. It could be my favorite product. It ranks up in my top 3. I'll assure you that. I drink it every day. I start my morning with MOA every single day. And here's what it is. It's 36 superfoods that's put into a drink with 1.5 ounce packages. Do not require refrigeration. You can travel with them, throw in your bag. And listen, it's just 1.5 ounces of the purest superfoods from around the world. What makes it unique and have no competition is this thing called ARIIX. ARIIX is a natural preservative. Why is that so unique? Because I want to tell you something. All these products are put in fresh and cold pureed. They're cold pressed. And the mushrooms that are used here, do your research. Just the mushrooms alone have some amazing results for inflammation. You can check on them yourself, and I don't have to tell you about building your immunity system. There's all kinds of things that pomegranate is always selling out during the flu season because people know it helps build your immunity system. And I'm going to switch to somebody that's also had some other issues. And I met Susan. Susan Glasgow's joined us. Susan is from Jonesboro, Arkansas. And by the way, we should have Jonesboro in our prayers. Jonesboro had a major tornado on Sunday, and we even had a rep that lost his home. So they've had we've had a lot of things going on, but they've had their share of others with the storms. But Susan, would you just mind sharing with them just briefly, it shows you in a wheelchair. I don't want to give the wrong impression. Susan used a wheelchair when she was on vacation, so that's not mean that she was confined to a wheelchair. We're not trying to make that insinuation, but it just shows the difference in how her health has changed since she started on these products.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's always exciting to share my story because, I'm a retired university instructor. I had a small business for 18 years, which, by the way, that location is totally leveled right now. But we met with y'all May the 31st, 2019. That's something I'll always remember. And I know you and Chris will too, because I wasn't very nice that day. I wasn't very open to any kind of products because Terry and I tried almost everything. You know, it was, I was in a dire situation with my health. Well, when you met me, we had one thing in common. We both had asthma, and I had a chronic cough that I'd had for 5 months, been on numerous antibiotics and couldn't get rid of it. And I remember you shared with me your 7 days of Vanali. And before I could even get my products in, that chronic cough was gone, which was amazing. I also noticed that with the MOA, about 10 days in with the MOA, instead of being up 10 minutes like I could usually be and then have to sit down an hour, I was up 45 minutes. I know that doesn't sound like much, but guys, when you don't have but 10 minutes in an hour that you can do something, 45 minutes is huge. I also had big time inflammation. I'd had a really gone wrong knee surgery. And my left knee was about 3 times the size of my other knee. In doing the MOA and it providing what my body needed, it reduced the inflammation, and in 5 weeks it was the same size, you know, pretty close to my other knee. I was supposed to have a revision, not going to have a revision anymore. I had severe fibromyalgia. I'd been on steroids for 30 years, people, 30 years. I haven't had steroids since August of last year because these products are feeding my body and giving them what it needs. And I'm really, really thankful for that. And then the last thing, Chris, that I want to share is my weight loss. I've lost 60 pounds. That's the size of one of my grandchildren, who is 10 years old. That'll really get to you when you realize that. But it's just, it's taught me a healthier lifestyle, something that I can maintain, not something that, like with some of these other things, you know, you go back to eating how you were eating and you gain the weight back. The Slenderized system teaches you and helps you to keep that weight off. And then also I'd like to end just with, I call ARIIX the answer to my prayer, you know, because I'd been praying about our health and our finances. And also I call it the QOL company. That's the quality of life, because it gave me a get a life back transformation.
Susan, I appreciate it. You know, we want to make something very clear. Susan's not telling you that she has been healed of anything. So, you know, we don't heal, treat, or diagnose anything, but, you know, Susan's inflammation has been down, and she still has things that they're not perfect for her, but she's really dramatically changed her health. Would that be the best way to describe it?
Absolutely. Just, it's given me a different quality of life than what I had before.
We really appreciate you being on with us. I know it's difficult to get up so early, and I know you're a night owl anyway, and we appreciate you getting on this early call for us. So,
yeah, mornings are not the best time for someone that has things like I do.
We appreciate you being on. So, guys, let's go on just to the next level here and talk about the next thing. Guys, MOA is not just for someone like me who's in their aging, or Susan who's got the inflammation. That's my daughter on the top left. This MOA is also used for athletic performance. I can assure you, my daughter trains NFL athletes and trains Division I football players. And she's the #1 ranked CrossFit female in the state of Tennessee. And guys, just as simple as this, that she will tell you, without the MOA, the recovery time, it just increases and speeds up her recovery time. And it does a lot for weight loss. And that's what we use it for, because it puts so many nutrients in your body to help you from being hungry. So the good news is that MOA is not expensive. When people try to tell me that MOA costs a lot, it's amazing. If someone walks in to a convenience store, they'll buy a $2 candy bar that we know is not good for you and a bottle of water and spend $3 or $4. Or buy a Starbucks cup of lap cappuccino. I mean, I buy my granddaughter loves these cappuccinos. So what's my point? Guys, as simple as this, for less than $3 a day, you can put super nutrients in your body that will help you with a lot of different things. The second product in our transformation pack that we're going to briefly talk about today is our energy product. It's called Rejuvenex. Rejuvenex has got superfoods. It has coffee bean extract. It's in capsules. And it gives you the energy without the jitters. It is, you know, it has L-theanine in it that gives it a calming effect. Guys, this, you know, I said, what's my favorite products? I start my day with 4 Rejuvenex and MOA because it just gives me mental clarity. But not only that, it gives me energy. My daughter also uses those for pre-workout. Why is that so important? Is that the energy drink business is huge. And now that we have Limu, you may prefer a liquid. The Limu, those drinks are healthy. So there's not like putting some of this crap into your body. I'm excited about the Limu energy drinks. I've actually had some of those, and I'll be excited when we can get those ourselves more. But here's the thing. The last product in that transformation pack is called Slenderize. And guys, I lost 80 pounds. And let me make this very clear. It was never any question about whether I knew what to do. There was never any question about what I should be eating. The problem was my discipline. I mean, I lived with a girl that was a trainer, but it didn't keep me from eating what I shouldn't eat. It didn't keep me from drinking the things I shouldn't drink. It didn't keep me from eating the pizzas or the snacks. All the drops do. They're clinically proven, hormone-free. They're non-stimulating. But what they do is they change your taste buds. They change and give you just enough discipline that you can stay focused. And the reason I know that that's true is because of this guy right here. Randall had tried to lose weight all his life. A good friend of mine. We've known each other for a decade now. But Randall had pretty much, and it's not like he'd grown up with a weight problem. And so here's what happened. Randall, are you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Randall, why don't you just kind of tell people your little story here, that what happened to you about, 18 months ago?
Well, like you said, I've been fat all my life. I was a fat kid, I was a fat teenager, and I was a fat adult. And about 18 months ago, it culminated into my A1C was a 13. And those of y'all that aren't familiar with diabetic numbers, a 13, the doctors are kind of impressed that you're not in a diabetic coma. It was not uncommon for me to come home, eat 4 or 5 Reese's in a night. I knew they were poison. And like you said, it's not that we don't know what's killing us. It's you don't have the willpower or the ability to say no to sugar. It is an addiction. And we had worked for about a year. We finally got my blood sugar down to about a 10, which my doctor was happy because going from a 13 to a 10 is a pretty good accomplishment in a year. But the weight wasn't coming off. And I have a heart problem too. And I talked to the doctors and said, okay, now we got my blood sugar somewhere under control and we're on the right track for that. What about my weight? And they said, the weight's not coming off. And I said, well, if the weight doesn't come off, I'm going to die. And they said, yes, that's true. We're going for as many days as we can possibly get out of you. This is about as good as it's going to get. And to hear that from a doctor that you're not going to be able to survive all these challenges is depressing. I went into a huge depression for about a month. And then I just got pissed off at life and the doctors. And I said, I'm not ready to die. I have at that point, a 13-year-old son that I wasn't quite ready to leave. So I went to my wife and we just talked as a family. Can we do this as a family? And we got the Slenderize and Moa Rejuvenex and started. And 120 days later, I went back to the same doctor. And she's like, what the heck happened? Because my A1C at that point was a 6. I got in 3 months from a 10 to a 6, which is a great accomplishment. At that point, they took me off my diabetic medicines because they were causing me to crash. And 18 months later, I've lost, as of this morning, 115 pounds. My diabetic medicines haven't been on. I haven't been on them since 60 to 90 days in.
How much have you lost as a family?
As a family, we have lost 210 pounds. And, the weight loss has allowed me to have my life back. I'm able to not really worry about dying. I don't have that conversation with my wife anymore about what are we going to do when I do die. And it's just quality of life is a good way of describing what's going on in my family. We have a quality of life.
So like that's the thing that Susan said, quality of life. And see, I want people to understand that Randall made a lot of changes here. The Slenderize only helped him to make those changes. We want to make that very clear. They didn't get him off his diabetic medicine. That is what happened when he started making changes and adding the products along with that. So, and the other thing that Randall's using, a lot of people like to add to their weight loss, and we're not going to go into a lot of details. It's not in the transformation pack, but we do have a meal replacement for people like me that are always in a hurry. We have something called Pure Nourish, and for those who like to work out, we have a Cocoa Boost that has the branched chain amino acids in it. But we also have a greens product. I know it's very difficult to get kids to eat their vegetables. You saw my granddaughter walk around a few minutes ago. She loves the Giving Greens. They taste great. I mean, I never was a big greens eater growing up, but I knew they were important. And so now I drink them in a drink, and they taste cinnamony. I just like the taste. And so, if I didn't like the taste, I would still drink them because I know what they're doing for my body. We could go in and show you people from all over and all kinds of changes. And I'm not going to spend too much more time on that because we've got, you know, we're trying to keep these short. But I want to finish by telling you this. So how do you get started here? Guys, you want to pick yourself a wholesale account. It costs $24.95 to have a wholesale account. Even if you have no interest in building a business, that get you started with a simple process for $24.95, your business going. You can pick a pack that fits you. There is a pack that's built just designed for the immunity system. It's designed that we've just put out recently that our doctors designed. But the packs that most of the people are talking about are Transformation Pack C, because it's got a month of the weight loss drops, 2 months of the MOA, 2 months of the Rejuvenate. So it kind of gives you time to realize, but you're not going to immediately in 1 day or 3 or 4 days notice that it's just completely changed your system. So you're going to take a little time to do that. For me, it was the ultimate pack because I wanted to start out at the best commission eligible. There's a little perks for being an ultimate, but there's also a lot of product in there, some that I could resell, some that my wife and I could both use for a few months together. So it's all about your decision. The person who brought you on this call can really tell you about that. So those are all optional to you. But I want to bring on Mark Thomas to close us out. Mark is a financial planner, and I had said last night 28 years, and he informed me this morning that as of June, he'll actually be a financial planner for 30 years. And what does Mark do? Well, he takes care of millions of dollars of people's investments. So, I mean, he's been kind of busy the last 10 or 12 days because of what's happened in our market. I know there's a lot of people that have been panic mode. So, Mark, why don't you tell us just a little bit about what you see about ARIIX, about building a global distribution center, and why did you, listen, you haven't been in network marketing in almost 12 years. What did you see in ARIIX, and what do you see coming from our company?
Yes, Chris, can you hear me?
I can. You're good.
All right. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning is a very serious call, which we should take every call serious because this is our future. And I have been in the network marketing industry. Heck, I even own my own company, lost $1 million in a network marketing company that I ran for 5.5 years. But I didn't let that stop me. And as I joined other companies and as I got my income up and going, those companies would always go out of business. And so 12 years ago, I said I was done temporarily. Now, over this past 12 years, I've reached out to companies that I thought I might want to look at. I've had people send me product. I would interview them. And I just never could find that company that had everything as a financial planner, as a guy that would take all the emotions out of the decision and only make a logical decision about the decision. And so when I seen ARIIX, again, I contacted the person that I seen it from. They sent me a video, and then we set the appointment. And when Chris Doyle and Richard Tuggle come to my house, I already done my research. I'd already done a lot of research on this company, and I began to interview them. I wasn't going to let them sell me. I was interviewing because, see, folks, here's what I know as a financial guy. Today, my wife and I, we're okay. We can live. We got built a brand new house this past year, and we have enough residual income coming in to last me and her for the rest of our life. But I don't want it to last us. I want to give something to my children. But also I want to go travel. And I don't have enough money set back to do all the things I really want to do because I'm only 57 years old. So when I looked at ARIIX, the ownership fit everything, every single thing that I was looking for in a company. When I looked at the compensation plan, when I seen that they had the Bill of Rights written into this, and that Tim Sales, which I kind of know Tim from the years past of his brilliant compensation videos that he's done. So when I looked at all of that, and then I looked at the product. Yeah, I looked at the product last, Chris, because, see, at the end of the day, we got to have a good, healthy body. We do. And I did. I'm in perfect health, just a little bit overweight, but I take no medication. And but I needed to lose weight, so I love the product. But me personally, it's about teaching people the importance of residual income And it's also important for me to help all of us, to help people realize that, you know, look, the toughest thing in the world to do is to depend on somebody else for your paycheck. The easiest thing in the world to do is to join ARIIX and go out and just do the work that you really don't want to do. Because, folks, I'll be honest with you, 30 years ago when I joined this business, I'd come out of the Marine Corps and I went to work in a factory. I was in that factory 28 days, and I walked out of that factory and went home and told my wife I quit my job. And she said, we better get on our knees and start praying right now. What are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm tired of being broke. I'm tired of being poor. I'm going to learn about money. And it wasn't easy, guys, because I'm not educated. Look, I barely graduated high school and don't know how to spell good. I don't know how to pronunciate words very well because I'm from the South, you know. But at the end of the day, I've got a heart. Man, I got a heart to take care of me and my family because that is what we're supposed to do. And then I have a bigger heart to help other people realize that, you know, hey, man, look, in order to build wealth, true wealth, it's not in your 401k because you don't have no control over that. It's not in the stock market because you don't have any control over that. To build true wealth is to look in the mirror and say, look, security is right there. You're looking at it. And you will go do the things that are uncomfortable in order to get the results that you're going to get to make your life more comfortable down the road. Therefore, with ARIIX, you can get started, get beat up a little bit, because you're talking about getting beat up. I've got clients right now that only got $5,000 with me, maybe just got a burial insurance policy. And I got clients that's got millions. Both of them, this economy is affecting them the same, because the one that's been paying for a burial policy can't pay for their burial policy. And they're calling me, what are we going to do? Then I got ones that's got money in the market, and they're calling me, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And I'm sitting there going, say, look, get on this video. I want to send you something that you'll never have to worry about what happens in the economy again, because it's going to happen again. This epidemic that we're going through is real, and I hate it for folks. So guys, I got 2 clients right now that's got this virus. I've got one that called me and they won't make it through the day. The daughter called me, and her parent will not make it through the day, she said. And you talking about hurt, that hurts. But now I'm sitting there going to her, you know, I mean, you know, she's actually a nurse, this daughter. And, you know, what is it that you're going to do 10 years down the road? What happens when another epidemic happens or another downfall of our economy? Folks, be prepared, because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take care of our family and do not depend on no other man. The Bible says that doesn't depend on God. But we've got bought into this situation where we was dependent upon man. Now, look, I understand some people has to, and some people, you know, look, I support the ones that has to go to a job because they just don't have the ability to maybe do network marketing. But I truly believe, Chris, that if a person's got a breath of fresh air in them, ARIIX is a company that anybody out there can build, from an 18-year-old kid all the way to a 100-year-old person. And you're talking about these 18-year-olds, they're looking. I mentor my community that I live in. I'm very involved with the youth, and they all call me Pops. They don't even know what my name is. And but I mentor them about money. Because I tell everybody, if you know the rules of the game, like, you know, the rules of football, basketball, soccer, whatever, chess, if you know the rules of that game, you got a better chance of winning it. Money is a game, folks. So if you don't understand the rules of this money game, you're going to lose. So I tell folks, keep your daytime job and open up a part-time business with ARIIX out of your home. Get on these calls and let us help mentor you. Let the ones that's got the experience to mentor you on how to get your residual income started. And the moment that you keep your daytime job and open up this part-time business, the secrets of the wealthy come over on your side through the tax strategies. And there's up to 42. That's 42 additional tax strategies to run a home-based business out of your home. So therefore, this product is not expensive, because if you take advantage of all the tax strategies and you take advantage of it doing ethically, legally, and morally and spirit of the law, then you can create enough tax savings to actually pay for most, or if not all, of your RX business to help get you started. And at the end of the day, though, you'll end up making more money with RX, so therefore you'll pay more in taxes. And that's what small businesses was created to do, to ultimately pay more in taxes because you're having a bigger profit. So in closing, back to you, Chris, I will say this. Folks, get serious about this. Get you a goal of contacting 5 people a day, 5 or 6 days a week, and just share this message with everybody out there and tell them, look, you have a solution for the next time we have an epidemic. Back to you, Chris.
Thank you so much, Mark. We appreciate you always being on here. I know you're very busy, especially this time. Guys, the last thing we're going to close with, and I'm just going to finish it up here, is that you look at this last couple of slides. I mentioned earlier about being called once and being in a position, and I could have done something with Microsoft. Or that's certainly different because you can buy stock. Here, you got sweat equity. You got to put you get your stock from putting efforts in. And for a lot of people, that's really an important factor because you know what? They might not have money to invest in a big company. But if you look at the numbers here, and you'll see that we've been ranked in the top 500 in all around private business companies. Inc. 500 has got us down, but more importantly is watching our growth and what our company's headed to. The last thing I'm going to tell you is this. These company owners, and I told you that I didn't mention the 6 business owners very big. I talked about Deanna more. But these men have run companies that were billion-dollar companies. And this company was never set up to become a $200 million company. It wasn't even set up to become a billion-dollar company. Their goals were to become a multi-billion-dollar company. And that's what we're headed towards. Look at the footprint, over 40 countries. Look at the offices around the world, already in multiple countries. What's the point I'm trying to make? We're still a young company, less than 10 years old. But in the next 10 years, you can mark this down. You'll look back on this day and say, hey, I remember when that company was just a $200 million company. And now they're a, whatever it is, $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion. But you know, it won't matter. I'm not a part of Microsoft. I can tell you how big they are, and I can tell you how big Apple is. But I didn't do anything about it. So guys, we're going to close with that. We appreciate you being on this morning. We are always excited when everybody's with us. And we're really always excited to have you on. And so, guys, thanks for being here. There'll be another presentation tonight. I know Brent Palmer will be on tonight. Make sure you're checking with everybody and connecting in to learn about what's going on with our company and what's going on with ARIIX. So we appreciate you being here. If we can ever be of help, thanks to Susan. We appreciate you being on, Richard Tuggle, and Mark, and Randall. Guys, it takes time out to do some work here. We've got a lot of great things going on with our company, guys. We appreciate you. If we can help you, just remember to plug in. These Zooms will be continuing every day. We're always excited to see great things happening. So have a good one, guys. Thank you.
See you next time, guys.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good
Remember
day.
to pray for Jonesboro, folks, please.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, everyone.
See you next time.
Thank you. It was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome. Appreciate it.
Wow. Okay. Awesome.
Good morning, children of woe. Get out.
Hey, Todd. You there? I got you. I lost you. I was calling you. I think you were calling me. You there? I recorded that one. I even changed my settings to manage the participants so they would be muted coming in this time. And once you set it, and I muted everybody, then I changed it before I did it. But somehow somebody got I don't even know who that was, marking on the screen. I'm like, where the heck did that come from? Do what?